What's up, people? Pizowell here, and today I want to talk to you about 1986's Rad. Now, this is partially going to be a review of the movie as well as a review of this new Blu-ray 4K UHD combo pack from Vinegar Syndrome. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I love Rad, and I've been begging for a Blu-ray release for this film for many, many years. So imagine my surprise when I discovered that Rad was not only getting a Blu-ray release, but a full-on 4K UHD release from Vinegar Syndrome. Now, I have to admit that I've been in the know about this release for a little while, thanks to Crew Jones himself, Bill Allen, who messaged me on Facebook after presumably seeing one of my videos in which I openly pined for a new Rad release, and let me know that Rad was getting a Blu-ray release in 2020. I was sworn to secrecy, but needless to say, I was stoked. Now, Rad is a film that I didn't discover until sometime in the early 90s. My discovery of Rad just happened to coincide with me receiving my very first bicycle. Now, I was a late bloomer when it came to riding a bicycle, and my very first bike was a doozy. It was a BMX style bike, brightly colored and very lightweight. That bike is responsible for a good portion of the scars that are still on my body today. Not because I was doing any kind of rad stunts with the bike. It was the bike that I was learning how to ride with. And let me tell you, it was a school of hard knocks. Rad quickly became a movie that I rented on the regular. I loved the underdog story. The bike stunts are awesome. The soundtrack is straight fire. Lori Loughlin was a stunner, and it is just so very, very, very 80s. First, let me address the elephant in the room here. Yes, there's no debating the fact that Rad is a silly movie. It's cheesy, sure. It takes place in its own little world where BMX racing is a multi-million-dollar industry. Was it ever that thriving an industry, even in the 80s? Full of corruption, dodgy swindlers, and shadowy back alley dealings. And much like July 4th was a make-it-or-break-it holiday for the town of Amity in Jaws, the good fortunes of Cochran, the fictional town in which Rad takes place, seems to hinge heavily on the Helltrack BMX event. Crew Jones, played by Bill Allen, is the local underdog who the entire town rallies around. He delivers newspapers and the townfolk are fine with him, riding his bike through their backyards and using their empty pools to perform sick tricks. He gets a helping hand from a garbage man who allows him to perform a stunt using his garbage truck, a stunt that would most certainly have cost the public servant his job and quite possibly his freedom. The local motorcycle cop periodically challenges Crew to a very dangerous-looking game of cat and mouse at a nearby lumberyard. Again, a stunt that would most likely cost this cop his career, but hey, it's all done in good fun, right? Then we have the bicycle boogie sequence at the high school, in which Crew and Lori Loughlin perform an impossible-looking ballet on their bicycles to the tune of real life's Send Me an Angel. This sequence is so unabashedly and unironically, for lack of a better word, rad. So yeah, there's a fair amount of campy appeal to Rad, no doubt. There's also no doubting the fact that Rad has an incredibly big heart, is charming as all get out, hits all the high notes a feel-good movie requires in order to truly resonate, and contains a very positive message. The film was directed by Hal Needham, who had a really interesting career. He started his career in show business as a stuntman, and at one point was the highest paid stuntman in the industry. From there, he worked as an actor and eventually a writer and director. He worked quite a bit with Burt Reynolds on films like Smokey and the Bandit, Hooper, and Cannonball Run. Needham brought the same kind of action-oriented mindset to Rad as he did to those films, only instead of fast cars, we have BMX bikes doing rad stunts. Bill Allen is fantastic as Crew Jones. He nails the unassuming underdog nice guy archetype. You instantly like him, and despite how many times I've seen this movie, seeing him overcome the opposition and tame Helltrack just brings a smile to my face. Lori Loughlin, Talia Shire, Ray Walston, aka Mr. Hand from Fast Times at Richmond High, and Friday the 13th Part 2's Marta Kober round out an awesome supporting cast. Rad is well made, the bicycle scenes are well photographed, the pacing is on point, and the soundtrack. Oh my God, the soundtrack. Break the Ice, Thunder in Your Heart, Send Me an Angel. It's hit after hit. And check out these lyrics. 'Cause there's thunder in your heart. Every move is like lightning. It's the power you feel when you get your taste of the glory. You can light the dark when they hear your heart of thunder. Rad is an endlessly fun, feel-good, ultra 80s blast from the past. They do not make movies like this anymore. If you've not seen the film, then you just aren't rad. It's as simple as that. Be rad, watch rad. I watched both the Blu-ray and the 4K discs on this release. I thought the 4K presentation had great color depth and clarity, although it did seem to be a little too dark to me at certain points in the film. I also noticed a lot of motion blur during some of the bike sequences, during some of the faster sequences in the film. Now, that may have just been an issue with the refresh rate on my 4K television. I don't know. I didn't notice quite as much motion blur on the Blu-ray release. However, the Blu-ray release, of course, lacks some of the depth and the finer details of the 4K. The Blu-ray release did look slightly brighter to me, though. I thought Rad looked great on both presentations on this release. However, as far as the 4K is concerned, I would give the picture quality a solid 4 out of 5 and the audio quality a solid 4.5 out of 5. Rad looks and sounds great on this release. As far as the presentation is concerned, this release comes with a slipcase that features a lenticular cover. How cool is that? Got the original artwork for the film lenticularized. Very cool. The back of the slipcase is also really cool. I mean, just check that out. Very, very nice slipcase for this release. Yeah, it's really nice slipcase for this release. Here is the case. There is the 4K UHD disc there. Underneath the poster, we have the Blu-ray disc. The sleeve is reversible. On the front of the sleeve, we have this image. On the reverse, we have this image. The included poster appears to be about 11 by 17 inches, and it is, of course, the original artwork for Rad. Very nice. And on the reverse, we have a map of Helltrack. How cool is that? Oh my goodness. Yes, a map of Helltrack. Very nice. Overall, this is a beautiful release for Rad from the fine folks over at Vinegar Syndrome. As far as extras are concerned, first up we get The Stuntman Directs, an interview with director Hal Needham. It's 15 minutes and 57 seconds in length. Mr. Needham discusses his early career as a stuntman and becoming the highest paid stuntman in the industry. He discusses doubling for Burt Reynolds and how that led to him writing and directing Smokey and the Bandit. He discusses shooting Rad in Canada. He discusses the building of Helltrack. He discusses casting Bill Allen, filming the race sequences, the bike dance sequence at the high school, the music in the film, Rad's fandom, and more. Very nice interview with Mr. Needham. Next up, we have Writing Something Rad, an interview with writer and co-producer Sam Bernard. It's 16 minutes and 43 seconds in length. Mr. Bernard discusses his early career as a screenwriter and how he got the idea for Rad and convincing Hal Needham to direct the film. He discusses the cast, working out the racing sequences with Hal Needham, and how intimidating Helltrack was even to pro BMXers. He discusses the film's failure at the box office and why the film took so long to make its way to Blu-ray. Next up, we have Rad 25, excerpts and footage from the Rad 25th anniversary event in 2011. It's 9 minutes and 17 seconds in length. Next up, we have Archival cast and crew interviews with actor Bart Connor, writer Sam Bernard, and BMX riders Eddie Fiola, Jeremy Moser, and Martin Aparicio. It's 25 minutes and 19 seconds in length. Mr. Connors discusses getting cast in Rad and still getting recognized on the street by Rad fans, including Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is a fan of Rad. Who'd thunk it? Mr. Fiola discusses getting cast as Bill Allen's double in Rad and how that led him into a career as a stuntman. Mr. Moser discusses how getting cast as a double in the film was a life-changing experience in his relationship with the fans via the Rad Facebook page. Mr. Bernard discusses the writing process behind Rad and how Hal Needham brought his NASCAR experience to improve Rad. Next up, we get a music video for the song Break the Ice, taken from the original electronic press kit 3/4 tape. Next up, we have an archival featurette taken from the original EPK 3/4 tape, featuring on-set interviews with Hal Needham, Bill Allen, Bart Connor, and Lori Loughlin. It's 5 minutes and 22 seconds in length. Next, we have archival behind-the-scenes interviews taken from the original EPK 3/4 tape, featuring interviews with Bart Connor, Lori Loughlin, Hal Needham, and Bill Allen. It's 11 minutes and 1 second in length. We get a behind-the-scenes gallery, the original theatrical trailer, and 3 audio commentaries. We get a brand new audio commentary with actress Talia Shire and Robert Schwartzman, a brand new commentary with Bill Allen, and an archival commentary with Bill Allen, Bart Connor, Sam Bernard, Eddie Fiola, Martin Aparicio, Jose Yanez, and Jeremy Moser. I listened to the commentary with just Bill Allen. It was very entertaining, very informative, very fun commentary with Bill Allen for Rad. This is an awesome 4K UHD and Blu-ray combo pack release for Rad from the fine folks over at Vinegar Syndrome. I never thought Rad was going to make the jump to Blu-ray, let alone 4K UHD, and yet here it is in my hand. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. If you've never seen Rad, by all means, go and watch Rad. If you're a fan of the film, this release is a must own. If you picked up this release from Vinegar Syndrome, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. If you've seen Rad, please let me know your thoughts on it just overall down in the comments section below. Also, if you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, stay rad. And be rad to one another. A big thank you to all my awesome Patreon supporters. I appreciate your generosity and support of my channel. Become a patron today and join me for monthly live streams and have a say in what movies I review on my channel. Patreon.com/pizowell, or follow the link in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.